this information. It was actually on a Sunday morning show that right now the CDC put out a warning that our 18 to 24-year-olds have a suicide rate double than it's ever been. And so that means 11% or 111 of our children that are, college age kids that are in the prime of their life are actually seriously thinking about suicide. And the other group was unpaid caregivers, which are, maybe our parents or grandparents that are taking care of a sick person, maybe with Alzheimer's, and they're just feeling overwhelmed. And so that's the reason why I really, really appreciate, Vanessa, that you agreed to have me present some of this. And I want to talk about hope, truly, and about some ways that, I have found as a clinical social worker 30 years that can help, or how even to talk to a friend or a parent about these things. And one of the most important things I want to share, and right now I really wish everybody would take out their phones and put this number into it. It's a 1-800 number, and it's 1-800-273-8255. It's a hotline. And even if it's not you that's going to need this, it might be a friend in need that you could just hit that button on your phone and hand them your phone. Go, here, I don't know what to say, but here's somebody that would like to talk to you right now that could help. So you could help somebody in this moment, maybe their lowest moment. And, I think we've all been there.
Yes.
Sometime in our life, and I think this is about options. It's just we have some moments when we think, or we're freaking out, or or if you think back maybe to your college years or, end of high school, these kids right now, they were so excited maybe to go to prom or to go to walk for graduation, and it didn't happen.
That's terrible.
Or going off to college, and having that college experience.
Yeah.
And now they're all in dorms sitting in a camera like this. It's not what they expected.
Believe me, for some of them, it's actually exciting because there's a lot of nerds out there. So keep that in mind. And, for some of the isolated one, it's actually a new way to feel better about themselves because they have been by themselves in a camera and they see, hey, everybody else doing what I'm doing. So it's not all bad. It's not all negative, I think. The fact that you interact more inside the bubble, for some of them, it's better. It's improved their life. So I think you have a great point about, the suicidal rates being much higher than it used to be, because at that age, that should never happen. Like you say, years ago, that would have never been the case, ever. People, even the most alone person will at least find a way to have one friend or one counselor. So I don't think, and now these days things have changed so much with technology and just the education itself, like how, young people behave, they have too much, they're entitled, all this stuff. So I think they're not as courteous, as kind with each other. And there's a lot of bullying. And I think that, it was way more solidaire before, more groups, more friendship to be made. And so it wasn't a problem, I never knew that, and it is really, really sad to hear that it's even happening, and that should never be happening. So I'm glad the new job is to do that, is to send that message out to help other people, because it's a wonderful thing. And I think the more you can help, and if you want to reach those caregivers, because they're the one who can do something, and they do need help, and they do need to get paid. And it's not fair that we not get paid enough, So tell me more about this. Why are they not getting enough money?
Well, and, there can be a lot of different reasons, that people are feeling the way they are. I think some of the isolation, creates thinking. And it's really about our thoughts, that we're thinking maybe badly about ourselves or our situation, or it's never going to end, or it's kind of like catastrophic thinking sometime, like, it'll be ruined if I can't have that year that I thought I did. I think sometimes all of us can get into that, but negative self-talk, and that's something we can listen for our friends and family. If they start to really talk negative, or you hear some extremes or generalizations like, it'll never be the same, or I can't do it perfectly, or, something that you kind of go, wait a minute, this person is sounding like they're really stressed, and maybe at this point I can ask them or say, I'm observing that you look like you're really stressed. Is that true for you? Ask some questions, but don't ask something like, what's wrong with you? Or you're acting weird. But ask something that elicits something from them. Don't even ask if I can help, because they're going to go, I don't even know. I'm so confused.
Yeah, but they don't even know what to say or what to do, how to respond.
Yeah.
So, returning to the caregiver, what do you think they're not getting enough money for the job that they're doing? You think they're not being recognized enough? Like people don't think that their job is essential? Is that what it is?
Well, in the caregivers, you mean? The caregiving people that
care for the mentally ill and disabled, and people in isolation and suicidal, Yeah.
It may not be perceived as important, or they don't feel like they are important enough, and and then there again, they have the feeling or the thought that they're not important because they don't get paid. But most of the people that I'm wondering that they're talking about with the unpaid caregivers are like your grandma or grandpa, that he's sick in bed and she has to take care of her, and it's the drudgery. It's the same thing over and over every day, and nothing changes, and now I can't even get out of the house.
Yeah, I think I get it. I'm not sure. So you're saying like it's getting tired of a routine, so they don't just like their job anymore? So is that it?
So again, you're asking about the unpaid caregivers?
Yeah, no, now we change the subject a little bit. I'm thinking, you're saying the sample you just gave me, it's somebody who's tired of a routine. It's just like, so they're not really liking their job necessarily. Is that it?
Well, yeah.
So they don't embrace what they're doing anymore. Instead of somebody who does it for the right reason, or maybe they forgot why they did it in the first place. So, it's funny because when you're not in that system, you're not in that group of caregiver jobs anymore, you kind of forget what it's like to be in it. I used to be in it. I haven't worked in caregiving world very long. Myself, maybe a year or two. I worked in home care, and then I did maybe 6 months in retirement home, but mainly I work with children, and I was a massage therapist for 17, 18 years, and then I got tons of other jobs along the way. But I know what it's like when you work for elderly. It's really hard because they're understaffed, they don't get paid enough, sometimes they're not qualified enough, they don't get the training, and they're not rewarded enough. So now I think today, with everything that you're saying, with younger, people dying or disabled or handicapped, they should be recognized as they should get a medal of honor for all the work that they're doing, and they should get paid more than anybody else, I think, and I think they should be more recognized.
Like teachers.
Huh? Just like a teacher.
Yeah, like teachers. They're very important. There's some like parents or mothers or fathers. It's such an important job that, most important job you could probably ever do. And some people don't see value in it. But I think I was thinking it was just the more of,
like I've been a counselor, like I said, but I've also been worked in hospitals as well as a social worker, as well as in nursing homes, and a lot of times people just get exhausted, and have to let their loved one go to a nursing home because they're just so tired. They cannot keep up that level of work. And I think that plays with your head too. It's just like you don't get good sleep, then you're not thinking right. And I think there can be a lot of that involved right now too. I think people are just plain overwhelmed and don't know what to do.
Yeah, so a lot of people do get overwhelmed. So here's one tip, and I always give as much tip as I can. Right now, for all the unemployed, there's the Yopper app, and that app actually costs hundreds usually when you pay, but it's free for everybody's unemployed. And I love it. It has you can meditate with people live. You can have set up meditation for yourself, all types. So it's not just meditation. There's like about self-worth, it's about concentration, about focus, about getting your work done. So it's basically like a little trainer, and it gives you a guide and there's 5, 10, 20 minutes. So you can set it up how you want it, and it reminds you every day, like when you feel overwhelmed, like, okay, click that or click that. Like, what is my mood today? Do I feel like going to the rainforest, or do I feel like going to the beach, or do I feel like I'm so stressed, I just want to sleep, please? And the voice of that app is great. It's like, I've heard so many meditation on, YouTube and stuff before. And some of them can be pretty boring and pretty the same old thing, But that is different. That voice is, it's like having a psychologist or a counselor. The voice is studied in a way and processed with the sound in a way where it's extremely relaxing. That's why it's not usually free. Because the free stuff are usually not the best. So, but right now you can get it free. So I would encourage people to get it. And also to seek help.
Spell that?
I will put it on the podcast so you can get it.
Good. That's wonderful.
That's my son. Yeah, everybody knows about him. So you want people to reach out to more because also during COVID-19, people have been overwhelmed and overstressed. What's happening? And I've seen people who have lost some of their family member during that tragedy.
Yes, absolutely.
Young people.
I know, and a lot. And it's like we're almost in a country of grief right now because with some of the same stages that they're going through, the shock and denial, I think we just went through, and we're kind of coming into that anger stage, of oh my gosh, this stuff is wrong. I don't have a job, and I can't pay my rent, and they're not giving us any money right now. They should be. They're not passing these things. There's just a lot of kind of outrage too, and social unrest, and there's so many things coming at us that it's like we've lost things, more or less. God forbid we lost a family member. There is so much that
I can't even know what it's like because everybody's experiencing this crisis differently. And I think some people have struggled way more, and some people, like you say, lost somebody. So it's huge. This is not like a fun time, for them. And some people, workers and nurses, have died, and it's awful, to think that, and some people have died from just stressing. They thought that it was going to get worse and more people were going to die, so they didn't have anybody to talk to. They overstressed. They were doing too much medication, too much drugs, and they died over that when a month later they realized it wasn't that bad. Not, a lot of people have survived, and we could have prevented all these deaths. And it's terrible to think that just because someone didn't have a friend, a therapist, or somebody to talk to, like you saying, call somebody they could reach with no money, and somebody who care for them. Just a little voice, somebody who can listen to your problem, somebody can listen to you. And that's a huge thing for people who thinking about ending lives, which should never be even in their thoughts, is that there should always be somebody here for you.
Yeah, or always to think there is, even calling that